Howdy guys, welcome to another Skating in Shorts tutorial. Today our focus will be setting up a board. So when you're setting up a skateboard, there's a few things you'll need. You'll need a deck, some grip tape, a set of trucks, some hardware to fix them to the board, a set of wheels, and some bearings. Optional risers that go between your trucks and your deck, and some rails. So the first thing we need to look at is applying the grip. So in this instance, I have a graphic on the top of the board and I don't want to cover it up with black tape. So I am showing you how to create a stencil to apply to the clear grip so you can still have grip tape on the board and be able to see the graphic. This is a process of using some kind of tracing paper, cutting it out, placing that over the back of the grip tape, tracing around that again, cutting it out and sticking it on. This can get a little fiddly, so take your time and get it right. One of the things you want to make sure you do is to get the air bubbles out from underneath the grip. A wheel on a spare truck is a very effective roller, pushing the air out before it gets trapped underneath the grip tape. Then I need to be trimming the edge of the tape with a Stanley knife or some kind of box cutter. So the next thing I want to do is put black grip tape on, but I want to be able to see what I feel is a beautiful colored ply. I don't think that should be covered up with black tape. Black tape serves a purpose, it's not the feature of the board, and in this case, the top graphic, the color of the ply and the way that grain has come together is something I want to see. So my plan for this was to cut strips and space them evenly across the board. Now at this stage I wasn't sure whether I was going side to side or up and down the board. 25 mil, 30 mil, but I figured around that width, or about an inch, was a good width to cut consistent size strips and lay them out across the board. See what it looks like before you stick them down. That was the finished product there. Clear grip over the graphic and 5 evenly applied black strips. So the next thing we're doing is mounting the trucks to the deck. This is a pretty straightforward exercise using 4 bolts, 4 nuts, putting the nuts through the board. In this case I'm using 1/8 risers, 2.5 to 3 mil. Sorry about the placement of this board and camera too, by the way. It doesn't quite capture it like I had hoped. Screwing those nuts on, finger tight to begin with. Make sure the trucks are lined up straight and evenly across the board. And if you're using risers, make sure they're positioned evenly from front to back and side to side. Tighten them up. Do that for the front and the back. That's your finished product. So moving on to the wheels and bearings. So I'd like to give a quick shout out to the boys at Fast Times Eastland for hooking me up with the wheels. The Jeff Grosso deck. I wanted to do a little tribute to Jeff Grosso. Jeff skated Ace trucks and rode Spitfires. So you could buy a 3-in-1 set of Grosso sucks. So this is my version of that. 3 naturals and 1 blue, or 3 blues and 1 natural. I think we all miss Jeff and what he brought to skateboarding. And if you aren't familiar with what Jeff was all about, check out Jeff Grosso's Love Letters to Skateboarding. There's an absolute treasure trove of skateboarding information and personalities, and you can go down the rabbit hole on that site really easily. Good luck getting out. Righto, fitting the bearings. So the bearings should go shield out. Sliding that bearing onto the truck, pushing it down gently. The next thing we want to be mindful of, washers have got 2 distinct sides. One side is a flat side and the other side is a curved side. The curved side should always face the bearing. So there's a little hack that I use that helps to keep rails fixed to the board a little better than just using the self-tapper screws that come in the pack. And that is to use some very thin double-sided tape. This board is being set up to ride transition, bowls and park. If I was setting this board up to skate curbs, my rails would be much closer to the center of the board to be able to rock the board forward or back on those rails and to turn the board into feebles and hurricanes. Using double-sided tape means that there is a consistent fixing point along the whole rail. That was the finished product there. So if you like the video or my setup, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you know someone who needs to set up a skateboard, share the video with them. If you haven't done so already, then subscribe to my channel. It'd be great to have you on the journey. So until next time, keep skating.